What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to the show. So when we talk about this Texas Senate race, one thing that I hear a lot, so we're seeing that Talarico in the latest polls, he's ahead in the latest polls. Looking at the prediction market, the race is very close. It's almost at a toss-up level. You have Paxton at 53. You have Talarico at 47. We're seeing fundraising going in Talarico's favor. But one thing that people always say is, this is Texas. We've been here before. You guys remember Beto O'Rourke. This is a different race, and I'm going to show you today why this is a different race and why Talarico now has a better shot of winning in Texas than Beto O'Rourke did. So that's what we're going to focus on in this video. But first off, if you guys can do me a favor, please like the video. If you're watching this video and you want to see more content like this, please consider subscribing to the channel. So I want to make a quick pitch here. If you guys are liking the content on my channel, make sure you go over and join my Substack. It's free. And on my Substack, you're going to get articles that are based on some of the videos that I've posted, as well as every video that I post on YouTube, I also post it on Substack, and Substack will send you an email notification so you'll never miss any of my videos. Link is in the description. Okay, so let's go ahead. We're going to dive right into this. And what I want to show you here is we're going to look at the Texas race today, and we're going to go back to the Texas Senate race in 2018. We're going to look at some of those numbers. So if we're looking at the information today, and this has been updated, let me actually show you the update first, and then we'll come back to this. So the update that we're making here, this is RealClearPolitics. RealClearPolitics now has Talarico ahead. When we're looking at the average of the polls, Talarico is plus 0.9%. Now, if we go back to the illustration that I put together, it's showing RealClearPolitics, and it's showing Paxton actually had the lead. So Paxton, because Paxton did have a lead just a few days ago, it was 0.6 points. Okay, so I just wanted to make that correction. And so now this is 0.9 points, and it's for Talarico. Okay, so just making that change. Now let's compare that to 2018. Now we didn't have RealClearPolitics, so what I did is I did an aggregate of the latest polls at that time back in 2018, and it showed 6.4 points. Guess who was ahead? Cruz. Okay, so Cruz was leading by 6.4 points. And so this margin advantage, this changes here, but we don't really even have to focus on that. We can look down here and just look. So the current RealClearPolitics average is showing Paxton, but now we know that Talarico, it's Talarico instead of Paxton. If we look at and we compare that to 2018, so in July of 2018, Ted Cruz was at 46.4%. Beto O'Rourke was at 40%. Okay, Cruz plus 6.4. So although the race in 2018 was very close between Beto O'Rourke and Cruz, Cruz had the lead in the polls. That's different than what we're seeing today. What we're seeing today is we see Talarico has a lead. In the last four polls, Talarico was either tied or in the lead. Now it's within the margin of error, so there's no clear leader, but it's showing momentum if you see Talarico ahead, even if it's in that margin of error, ahead in the last four polls. And then when you look at the average, you're seeing that Talarico is ahead. And Beto O'Rourke in July, he was not ahead in 2018. That's the difference there. And so when we go to the final outcome back in 2018, if we're looking at the final outcome here between Beto O'Rourke and Ted Cruz. So we saw in July that point spread was 6.4%. Cruz was ahead. The actual outcome was 2.6 points. Okay, so Beto O'Rourke lost, of course, but he only lost by 2.6 points. And so what that's telling us is that Beto O'Rourke, he outperformed the polls, at least the polls in July. And so if we see a similar situation where, let's say, Talarico is running neck and neck with Paxton, he's running neck and neck up until November, but Talarico outperforms the polls like Beto O'Rourke did, then Talarico will win. And so all the people out there are saying, well, it's just, Democrats are not going to win in Texas. It's Texas, so Talarico can't win. We saw what happened with Beto O'Rourke. It was a different situation with Beto O'Rourke. Beto O'Rourke didn't have that advantage of leading in the polls. And so the polls back then were showing him behind Ted Cruz. The majority or the average of polls were showing that Beto O'Rourke was behind Ted Cruz. And you also need to understand Ted Cruz was an incumbent, so he had an incumbent advantage, as well as Ted Cruz, he might not be liked outside of Texas, but people will vote for Ted Cruz. There are a lot of people that like Ted Cruz in Texas. And so ultimately, I think this is just going to be a different race between Talarico and Ken Paxton. Now, Paxton is not an incumbent, so Paxton is running for the first time when it comes to running for Senate. He has some character flaws, some scandals and stuff that he's going to have to deal with. So that is going to impact this race. So it's just a different race overall. And I think Talarico is doing a really good job of campaigning right now. And when we look at past history, the polls didn't look the same way that they do now. And that's why you do have people looking at this race and saying, you know what? If Democrats have their best shot at winning in Texas, everything is lining up. The climate that we're in right now, when it comes to inflation, gas prices, all of that, when it comes to the war in Iran, all of this stuff is setting Talarico up to have the best possible chance of winning in Texas. But I want to know what you guys think. So let me know in the comments below. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe for more. And remember, stay informed, stay engaged, and I'll talk to you in the next one. So that's all we have for this video. Make sure if you guys want to send me an email, you can do that, david@thetecshow.com. Like the video, subscribe for more, and check out these videos over here for some more great content. Talk to you later. Bye.